append their signature to.
Are you serious?
Yes, there are some issues there we need to bring out because we may not have this platform again. As a stakeholder, yes.
And you're part of the shareholders?
Yes, we did not even know about the static or airborne display.
Huh?
We saw it in the newspapers and social media.
Nobody consulted you?
No. So I'm a bit surprised that the PAMSEC is attempting to whitewash this thing. It's a very
this is circle. They are part of the shareholders, and they are not even aware of this transaction. We had an approval, and we granted the aircraft a flight permit. It was meant to be a charter flight. Yes. Thank you. From Ethiopia to Nigeria. Yes. But yes. Yes, it was a charter flight. I'm not aware of that, but we issued a flight. We issued an approval for it.
It's a limited liability company. And for us to have a national carrier, it's going to a partnership with some local and international investors. And that's where the process of betting the Nigerian came in. And ICRC is fully involved, and there are processes to this. And one of the processes is outline business case, which has been approved. And we move forward to ensure that we have what you call a full business case, which will involve all the shareholder issues, negotiations, and what have you. And we're in the process. We have not gotten an AOC for there to be a launching of Nigerian Air. But the processes are on, and the interim MD can throw more light on the processes to getting AOC.
Okay, please, can we hear from Sako?
Then the social media dimension came into it, and I'll address them point by point. One, it's Ethiopian registered. Why is it Ethiopian registered? Well, for a start, to operate aircraft in Nigeria, they must be Nigerian registered. 5 November, we call it, okay? That aircraft was not 5 November registered because it was a charter flight. And it came in with just a few days clearance and off it went. For us to get this license, which is my mandate, I don't want to use technical terms, we must, amongst other things, have 3 aircraft before this NCA will give us a license. And those 3 aircraft must be Nigerian registered aircraft. There are 5 phases, 5 steps that one goes through to get this license. 5. We've gone from the first one to the second one. But the problem is that when you change what we call post holders, you're a post holder, for example. All of you are post holders on the committee. Post holders in aviation is a technical term for director of maintenance, chief pilot, all those type of things. When you change them and replace them completely, you have to go back to phase 1 to interview them. They have to be interviewed to be compliant and acceptable to the authorities, to the Civil Aviation Authority. But having gone back to phase 1 doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. That is the correct and normal process. So when this aircraft came in on a charter flight, everybody said, we have launched Nigeria Air. And I thought this was very interesting because there are learned people in the aviation industry who could have countered that when social media came out, but they chose not to. But that's fine, I'm here to explain. It was just a charter flight, and then there were other stories that the passengers on the aircraft going back to Ethiopia were paid passengers. We sold tickets to them. For your information, those passengers were staff of Ethiopian Airlines that we brought here just to show them, because the aircraft is their aircraft. It's registered in their aircraft's name. It's their aircraft. So we brought them here, and at the end of the unveiling, they went back with their aircraft. Nobody sold any tickets to anybody. Then there was the issue of launching the airline. You see, they brought the aircraft. There's no ticket counter in Lagos. There's no ticket counter in Enugu and so on. Yeah, of course now. We haven't got a license yet to operate. If you had asked me the question, I could, not you, I mean, if the social media had asked me the question, I would have said, we haven't got to that stage yet. We're doing the proper process of one after the other to get to this point where we get the license. We've done the first part, which is to get an air transport license. Again, on social media, some people have been pushing the air transport license, which is one of 2 licenses, and saying, see, NCA gave them license to fly. They didn't do anything. They got a license. That is an air transport license, which doesn't permit you to carry operations on commercial services. So it's nothing to do with it. It's just one of several licenses. Like if you want to do your driving test, you have to do a written exam first, then you do the driving exam. So we did the written exam and got a certificate. Now we're going to do the driving test. They say, they gave them license. Let us do the driving test first now. So that issue of the aircraft was totally misconstrued by everybody who was just trying to be mischievous. We are not at the point of operating the airline yet, at all. In terms of the business model, sir, you asked a question about the business plan and the shareholding. Well, again, I am not the right person to address that because that is part of the ICRC BPP process. So I am not there to design a business case. What I do is I meet a business case and I use that to get the license, the correct type of license we need to operate. So everything that has been done to get this airline going on a technical front has been done entirely above board and with the cognizance of the Civil Aviation Authority and all agencies combined, by the way.
The committee, after careful evaluation of the issues on the deliberation, is totally dissatisfied with the actions of the former Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika, in going ahead to flag off the operations of Nigerian Air, despite a standing court injunction against such, and without any provision for sustaining the operations of the airline, Nigerian Air. We're equally irked by the role played by Ethiopian Airlines in this whole process. It does not speak well of the excellent relationship existing between the 2 countries. Even Ethiopian Airlines, we invited them twice, they ignored our invitation. That tells you how they want to operate in Nigeria. A careful review of the process indicates that the exercise to be highly opaque, shrouded in secrecy, shoddy and capable of ridiculing and tarnishing the image of Nigeria before the international community. We want to put on record that the committee and indeed the National Assembly had no role in the purported launch of Nigeria Air or anything related thereof. While the committee and indeed the parliament is not opposed to Nigeria having a national carrier. As a matter of fact, having a national carrier is highly desirable to us as a people and Nigeria as a nation. However, such a process should be transparent and all-embracing. We as a committee will not accept any attempt by any individual or group of individuals or organization to hide under the project Nigeria Air and siphon our commonwealth. Consequently, the committee hereby resolved to 1. Direct the Federal Ministry of Aviation and its partners in the Nigerian Air project to immediately suspend any operation regarding to Nigeria Air and every other action with respect to Nigeria Air. 2. Urge our new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the president and commander-in-chief, to, as a matter of urgency, constitute a high-level presidential committee to undertake a holistic review of the processes of the whole Nigeria Air project and advise the government on the way forward. 3. Ensure that all individuals or groups or organizations involved in the controversial Nigeria Air takeoff are brought to book, prosecuted and sanctioned. 4, advise the Federal Ministry of Aviation with its agency, the NCAA, to designate some Nigerian indigenous airlines as flag carriers to take advantage of BASA entered into by Nigeria, pending when a viable national carrier comes on board. In conclusion, looking at the total amount required to fully start the airline, which is put at $250 million, Nigerian government and its citizens can raise these funds without necessarily subjecting itself to the ridicule we have been exposed to by this recent episode. This is what we suggest the new administration will look into.